Thank you, Debbie and Elvie. It looks like Taylor has a question, and I'm just going to adjust pins. Taylor, go ahead and unmute.
Hi, thank you for letting us listen in. I'm hoping to start similar DEI programs at another biomedical association. And so my questions are, you mentioned at one point that the participants are given information on culturally competent mentorship. And I was kind of curious when in the process you provide that to them and in what format. And the second question I had was, in addition to the psychological safety statement and the partnership agreement, what checkpoints, or for lack of a better term, guardrails, does the program have to ensure that the relationships are progressing in a positive way and to intervene if and when necessary?
Those are really great questions. I'll just take the first half, Debbie, if you're okay with that. Mm-hmm. So what we'll have in terms of culturally competent mentoring resources, that will be introduced to the pairs during the orientation. So once they've been matched, as a part of the orientation, we'll broach this topic. And then in addition to that, once they're in the pairs, there's a different platform that we have internally that they'll have access to these resources throughout the duration of their relationship. So they have multiple avenues in which they can constantly check in with this information and keep up to date. So it'll be throughout their relationship.
Thank you, Elvie. And to address the second part of your question, Taylor, which is a really good question, we have, when we built out this program, we have something that we call like the Relationship Manager Initiative. And this is when we're going to be reaching out to the pairs on a periodic basis to see how things are progressing. We're not going to get into the weeds to, find out what has been discussed, but we just want to make sure that the pairs are meeting. If there's any questions or issues that arise, we can address them, even though they can reach out to us outside of our outreach, just to make sure that everything is moving smoothly. So that's something that we already have built in. So I don't remember off the top of my head the different time points, but it'll probably be maybe about 3 or 4 times throughout the 1-year relationship.
All right, Emily has her hand up.
Hi guys, nice to see you. My question, I guess, is kind of similar to Taylor's, and was just thinking, so I love this program. I think it's fantastic. I think it'll be super helpful. I'm wondering, during the program, you kind of mentioned that you'll be checking in and there's resources they can access, but just thinking from the side of being a potential mentor, the power dynamic can be there, and having you want to be confident when you're asking these questions. So I was just wondering if you guys thought of any prompts or, questions that you can kind of give the mentors in order to facilitate discussion, just to kind of help them out and, make sure that they're feeling confident in this venture.
Well, excellent question, Emily, and so glad you asked this. So one of the things also that we have built into this relationship is topics, right? So with any mentoring relationship, particularly if you don't know one another, it can be a little awkward in the beginning when you're sitting, whether it's in person or virtually, in front of someone. So what we decided to do, and what we thought was very helpful, is we came up with a list of probably about a dozen what we call reverse mentoring topics. So these topics will be shared with the participants. Now, necessarily, we won't be providing questions, to be asked, but the goal is that with these topics, that are selected to be discussed for that month's meeting, that would help facilitate and jumpstart the conversation. So let's say one topic might be work-life balance. And so the conversation can kind of like center around that during the course of that particular meeting. Now, that's not to say that these topics necessarily have to be used, but we were thinking ahead and thinking like, this could be a good catalyst to jumpstart these conversations. So that's something that, we already are going to do. Once the pairs are selected, as LV mentioned, we have another platform where we have like the competency, cultural competency resources. Well, also we have this information there too. We have the reverse mentoring topics. We also have, if I remember correctly, like some training guides to help both pairs, like do's and don'ts, for the mentors, and do's and don'ts for the mentees. So all this is on that other platform, but that's only the participants in the program have exclusive access to that. That's not on our website.
That's great. Thanks. You guys really have thought these through. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? And again, this is just, a forum where we have the opportunity to explain and talk more about our program. But many of you may already know me and LV. We are not far away. So if you have any other questions that come to mind, please feel free to let us know. We provided the email that you can reach out to us. Because like I said, I know for myself, I think about things after the fact.
Thank you.
Okay. No more questions?
It's just me in the chat, but I just wanted to make sure people are aware that our next informational webinar about the FASEB Cares program is a week from today. So same time, same place, but new registration link. I will put that in the chat if you're interested in sharing that. And as Debbie and Elvie mentioned, that is 10 awards, $5,000 a piece for family care. So really excited about both of these programs to benefit our members. So this is the CARES webinar. But I really appreciate everyone joining today, and we'll hang out for a little bit if people want to ask questions. But Debbie and Elvie, are you fine if I go ahead and stop the recording?
Just one quick thing I wanted to mention. Now that all of you have learned more about reverse mentoring, kind of the history of it and what this program is about. Again, if you're interested, please, you can go online and complete an application. But also we ask is if you please can spread the word. You've had the opportunity to sit and learn more about it. So, you can go back to your member societies and say, hey, I sat in on this cool new FASEB DEAI program lead, and just, help us spread the word. This is going to be recorded, as Yvette mentioned. So if you do spread the word and they weren't able to attend for whatever reason, they will have the opportunity to tune in and learn more about the program, just like you all have today. So that's my last plug.
Thank you everyone for joining. Like I said, we will hang on for a little bit longer, but we appreciate you joining and giving us a little bit of your day to learn more about FASEB LEAD.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time.